بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Right, so just to recap very quickly, we've covered ism, yeah? Or did we? Yeah, we did ism first, and then we covered fi'l, yeah? We covered nouns, noun, and verbs. Basic nouns, basic verbs. We never got into detail, but we did enough to be able to do basic grammar. So, if you make a sentence up, Ali went, drove to school. Okay? Ali drove to school. Right? So, where's the ism in that? School. Ali. Yeah? So you got your ism or your noun. So I'll just put ism here. Where's the verb?
Drove.
Yeah. So even in English, you can see this already. That's the fi'l. Yeah. The only thing that's left is what? Harf. Yeah. So harf are like words that they're usually two-letter words in Arabic, and they usually are there to make the sentence complete. So you've got 2/3 of the knowledge already now. The largest 2/3 of the knowledge. You just need a 1/3, and you only need 1 or 2 lessons to cover it. The reason I'm not going to go into harf in detail is you'll just pick it up. Rather than me giving you a list of them, you'll just pick it up. You'll just know. Just like now, you just knew Ali drove to school. You knew straight away that's a particle. Yeah, that's called a harf. Yeah, I've just used English to explain it, but you can understand. And you have in English is, from, to, above, up, from, whatever. You have these in English as well. Right? So they're called particles. They sort of bring the sentence together. So what we're going to cover is harf. The plural of harf is huruf. Okay? Or particles. Okay? And the reason we left them right at the end is they're the easy part. And like I said before, that there's loads of them, but you'll just pick them up when you're reading. All right? Usually one of the signs of a harf is that it's a 2-letter word. So min, yeah, min, or ila. Min means from. Doesn't always mean from. It can depend on the context. Or you have the word ila, to. Yeah, usually it's a 2-letter word, and you'll see in the Quran all the time. Alif lam mim zalika al-kitabu la rayba fihi hudal fi, yeah, hudal lil muttaqin alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaibi wa yuqimuna as-salata wa mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun. So you'll know what these words mean as I teach you them, but I'm not going to give you a list of them to memorize. Right, so that's very important to bear in mind. Okay. So huruf. Okay. Now, we've worked out that huruf are always added to nouns and verbs. They make part of the whole sentence structure as well. And it just gives, sometimes it can also give additional meaning as well. Okay. Now, all particles by default, and this is a new word that you're going to have to learn, which I haven't told you, or what we call mabni. And Ali gave me some feedback about my horrible handwriting. So now you're going to have to watch me write really slow. Yeah? Mabniyun. Okay? Mabniyun. Yeah? You okay, yes?
Yeah, so guys is asking where have you seen that word before?
Where have you seen that word before? Sorry? Madi is mabni, yeah? Yeah. So the default, all particles, they remain unchanged, right? So, for example, you have this word min, which means from. It will always stay min. It's stubborn. But the huruf are very humble as well, right? They don't really play a big role. It's always the ism and the fi'ls that are always getting all the limelight. They're the famous ones. But the huruf or the particles are mabni. In other words, you don't need to worry about the whole stuff about not ma'rifa, marfu, mansub, majroor, all of that. Yeah, all you need to know is mabniyun. Mabniyun ala al-asl. Asl is always mabni. Alright? So that's very, very important to bear in mind. I'm just going to make sure I cover the right things. Okay? Now, that's basics. Very, very simple. Huruf are very, very easy. Right? The second thing you need to know, so this is just part A. Part B, the second thing you need to know, use a different color, is that this is what I think Mr. Leher was asking. Why do we need to know mansub, majroor, mansub? It's going to start coming in now slowly. So, you know, when these words come before a noun or a verb, it changes that verb, the ending of that verb. Yeah? So, and we call that amil. Amilun. So again, for Ali's sake, amilun. Amal karne wala. It does some amal. Yeah? So in English, in the book, you've got that as a governing principle. It's a governor. Governing principle. In other words, it's going to do something. It's going to do something to the word after it. Either that's the verb or the noun. It can only be a verb and a noun anyway. It's going to do something. Okay? So, you have this word. Yaz, ha. What's going to be at the end of it at the moment? Just focus the last letter. Yazhabu. Yeah, yazhabu. Right? Zahaba, yazhabu means to go. Yazhabu, what will be on the dal of Zaydun? Yazhabu. Yazhabu. Why is it Zaydun? I'm going to start asking you questions now. Why have you made it marfu? You're right. You're right, but why? Tell me why. You have to now. You're going to start learning why you're doing it. So you can't just guess. Yazhabu Zaydun. Who went? We haven't got into it.
By default.
Yeah. So we haven't got into it, but Zaydun is who? Is he the subject or the object? Zayd is going. So he's the subject, right? Because he's the subject. He's the one that is going. So if you made that mansub, then he's the object of going. But that, it doesn't make sense here, right? But I'm just saying this for now. So yazhabu Zaydun, straightforward sentence. Now I'm going to just play with you guys a little bit. And I'm going to say, okay, for example, say I want to bring a harf in. Let's pick one that we're already familiar with, lam. Yeah, lam. What does lam do? Negates. What else does it do?
Intensifies.
No, you're right. So it does negate the meaning, ma and lam, right? What's the translation at the moment?
Is not going. No, it's not. They did not go.
Is it in the past tense or present tense?
Past tense.
Yeah. Remember what we said? Ma lam. Obviously you've forgotten this. Don't worry. But lam yazhab Zaydun. Zayd did not go. Yeah. Even though the verb it's written as a present tense, but the translation will be in the past tense. So there's one thing which is translation, which is fine. So let's just write that down. Zayd did not go. Yeah. What else do I need to do in terms of the grammar now? Is that Arabic correct? Madzum, excellent. So what will happen now is probably made it worse, but what will happen now is here you will have a madzum. So this is called an amil because what's it done? The harf has come, probably not the best way to do it like this, but the harf has come in and it's an amal. It's done something to the verb. In this case, it's a verb. Lam yadha Zaydun. Can you see? Yeah. So whenever that happens, it's called an amil. So that's called, and lam will never change. It'll always be lam. It'll never be lam, mu, or lamma. It's lam because it's mabniyun al-as. Everybody okay with that? Yeah?
Sorry, before the lam was added, what was the translation?
Yes. So we had yazhabu Zaydun.
Yeah.
Zayd was going. Or is going. It could be in present or the future.
Then we had lam, it became lam.
Yeah, but two things happen. The translation changed, but also the Arabic. What happened? Because now now you're learning marfu, mansub, majroor as well. So you need to start bringing what you learned in those horrible exams that you had. You need to start bringing that back now.
Musab Zaydun is marfu because Zayd is an ism.
He's still the subject.
Because he's a subject, he's a fa'il. Who went?
So the Dammatay, Zaydun,
Yeah.
that represents marfu, isn't it?
Yeah. Marfu. Zayd is marfu. Yeah.
Is it because it's an ism?
No, it's not because in Islam. It's actually because technically, he's the subject which we call
So
a
it's nothing to
fa'il.
do with the isms that,
No.
that table from the first section.
No, it could never be. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's Islam. It's to do with what's it doing. What's he doing?
Okay.
He's the one that went, and because he's the one that went, and you remember what I said in one of our lessons. When you're doing something, you're marfu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're a victim of something, you're the mansub.
Okay.
For now. So when you're doing something, you're the marfu, rafa. When you're the victim of something, you're going to be mansub, as in you're the object. Now, we haven't gone into too much just yet, but that's just something for you to bear in mind. Is everybody okay with that? Straightforward. Okay. So you have amil, and then you have some. So let me give you another one actually. So what's this word? What's this word? What does it mean? A house, yeah? Baytun, house. So, Baytun, yeah? Baytun, house. Now, that's an ism at the moment. Now, if I bring a harf in, I've told you this one already, min, from a house. This is a harf, this is a harf, this is an amil, so it's going to do something. What this word does is, when it comes before a noun, it makes it majroor. Yeah? It's called harf jar actually, but it makes it majroor. So what happens now is this one will disappear, and at the end of it, you will put kasratain, yeah? Because it's an amil, min baytin. You have other words like ila and so forth, which I will teach you, inshallah. But the point for all you need to know now is a harf can be of two types. The one type I've shown you so far is the one that if it comes before a noun or a verb, it'll do something to noun or verb. Right? The second type, let's keep this one, and the final one we'll do for right now, inshallah, is that it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make a difference. And the one that you have in your book, I'll just stick with that example, is ma. Yeah? Ma dhahaba Zaydun. What's the translation of that? Zayd did not go, yeah? Yeah, Zayd did not go. Zayd did not go. Has anything happened? This is a harf here, which you spotted. Has it done anything to Zahaba?
No.
Right? It would have been Zahaba before, it would have been Zahaba afterwards. So that's called a harf is ghair amil. It doesn't do anything. But the bunyad point, the foundation point is harf itself doesn't change. There's no marfu, mansub, majroor to it. Right? Everybody okay with that? Yeah? So that's all you need to know for harf. In the book, on page 48, 49, 50, 51, he goes into a lot of detail. I'm not going to do that with you for now, if that's okay. Yeah, because there's a lot of detail. I think the best way would be just teach you guys, and I'll just bring it in. So again, this point about not always following the book religiously. If you want to, you can read it all, but there is a lot of detail in there. But I've made a decision that I'm not going to go through it with you, because right now, we don't need to worry about it. Right? And it goes back to one of the feedbacks that we had, that sometimes we learn stuff and we forget about it and we have to learn it again. So I'll just bring it in when it needs to come in. Alright, for now.